Hi, this is Scott. Welcome back to another Hollander Team video blog. This blog is our annual year recap of the prior year, 2022, and a comparison to the activity of 2021. We're seeing a decline there, not necessarily, and I probably say it a couple more times, not because the market's getting soft, but because there's just very little for sale. And case in point, right now we have 613 homes for sale. I think a couple years ago we were well into the thousands of homes for sale, and the same thing on vacant land. But you can see in comparison from 2021, home sales, the number of home sales dropped by 30%. There's still a fair number of pending, but it's that's also down and reflective of the lack of properties for sale. Vacant land has tapered off even more, over 50%. And that's probably, you can lay that somewhat at the feet of interest rates and also on the cost of construction right now and the lack of builders to build. So, yeah, it's just an interesting time. It'll be interesting to see when and how it shifts. Now on to the waterfront properties around the valley and talk about each one of the areas and what they have had happening. Flathead Lake Homes has seen basically a 50% reduction in sales from the previous year. There's 14 active, which is, I think, an all-time record low. 2 pending sales, so that's a good sign. And then just a little note there that there's of the 14 that are active, 12 of them are over $2.8 million. So it's not the cabin on the lake that's for sale right now, and that's really where the jackpot and the bonanza is for those kind of properties when they come on the market. Flathead Lake condos, same kind of thing. It's dropped by basically 50% in the number of transactions. 1 pending sale, and 12 active. We went for years and years and years with active hovering right around somewhere in the 30s, it seems like, especially for the year-end reports. But very, very few. In fact, I think if we counted the number of condominium properties on Flathead Lake, there's maybe a dozen of them, so you've got maybe 1 property in each one of those for sale. On to Flathead Land. 15 active listings. That's a pretty good count, but again, it's nowhere near what we used to have. And you can see the number of transactions has dropped from 23 the previous year down to 16 this year. There's no pending sales, but that's a little bit normal for this time of year. It seems like maybe houses will be selling with people anticipating spring, but land, partially just because it's usually under snow, doesn't move as quickly in the winter. Then moving on to our lakes, we'll move to Echo Lake first, and we're going to go through these lakes pretty fast because almost all of it is zeros. 0 homes for sale, 0 land for sale, half as many homes sold this year as last year, and land was about the same. Really nothing super exciting to talk about there. Lake Blaine, I shouldn't say super exciting. It's all pretty exciting because the demand is high and there's just nothing for sale. Lake Blaine, again, no active listings. 5 sold in 2001, but we've only had 1 sale. I guess the one and only one that came on the market. No pending. Land is straight zeros. On to Swan Lake. Swan Lake has some active properties, 2 homes and 1 vacant property. And the sales have been up, I think probably just because that many have been for sale and they've sold. Not that much as well. Only 1 vacant property is for sale, and compared with 3 last year that sold. So slow activity on land on Swan. Swan River, again, reflection of when things come on the market. They sell 8 sales this year compared with 6 the previous year. And land sales were well stayed pretty much even. So really nothing showing a decline there. And there's one vacant property on the Swan River for sale, and it's still a very sought after area. If we go out west to Kalispell, we have Ashley Lake, and they have one active home listing, but it's priced at $25 million. So I don't know if you can call it an active listing or just something out there for the very outlier type buyer that might come along and buy it. Half as many sales in 22 as in 21. There is one pending sale out there, which is a good sign. Vacant land, there's only one active, and 4 sold, and compared with the year before, where 2 sold. So a good pace there. Then we go a little further west to Bitterroot Lake. Active listings, 1 each of homes and land. Sales were 4 compared to 6 the previous year, and 1 pending sale. So good pace there, just not much for sale. And on the land side, 4 vacant properties sold in 21, and compared with none that sold in 22. It just means basically nothing for sale. On Bitterroot Lake, the one that is for sale is $225,000. So again, it's not your it's not your 100-foot lot that you would hope to be able to buy out on Bitterroot right now, at least not this one. Further out west to McGregor, no active listings on McGregor. 5 have sold, so it's been one of those areas where when things came on the market, they sold pretty darn quick out on McGregor. And I think just the one vacant property that came up out there also sold right away, compared to none in 21 on vacant. 3 on 20 and 21, I think just was reflective of not much for sale then, and then several more came on this last year. Coming back to Kalispell, right on the edge of town, there's no homes currently listed, no vacant land. 1 home and 1 vacant property sold in the year, compared with the year before. 2 sold, 2 homes sold, and 1 vacant property sold. No pending sales there. Out to Lake Mary Ronan, which is kind of, it's a destination lake because there's no roads going past it on to another place. So when you go to Lake Mary Ronan, that's where you are. There's 1 home currently on the market. There's 1 vacant property currently on the market. Nothing sold in the entire year on Lake Mary Ronan, compared with 2 sales the year before. Last but not least, Whitefish Lake. And the numbers are always interesting on Whitefish Lake. There's 2 active listings, but the little note below shows that you've got one at $40 million and one at $7 million. So again, it's not your cabin on the lake that's for sale there. And then if we look at the sales of the 8 sales in 22, the highest sale was $11 million, and the lowest was $2.3 million. Anyhow, thank you for watching the Hollinger Team video blog on the year-end update. Please subscribe and send it on to your friends, and we appreciate any comments, suggestions, questions, or just other tidbits of information that you would be interested in. Have a great 2023.